So ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel with another mock draft for you guys here today. Tuesday edition, as I promised yesterday. Going to do a special one because it's the start of the new league year, and with it, our first 3-round mock draft. Now, before I dive fully into it, if you guys would do me a favor and hit the like button, that'd be greatly appreciated. Also, please subscribe if you're new and hit the notification bell as well. The average continues to drop. We're now at 82%, so let's keep the train rolling, and let's make sure that if you are not subscribed, please make sure to do so if you love the content and keep coming back. Alrighty, so we're going to get straight into the 3-round mock draft here today, what the Cowboys should look to do, and this is also including some moves that have happened, and if you've seen them, such as the Donovan Wilson re-signing and some of our guys leaving, and also the tag and stuff like that, you'll know where we're at. So with that being said, let's dive into this special edition of Mock Draft Tuesday.
With the 26th pick, the Dallas Cowboys select
Deonte Banks, cornerback, Maryland. Now, ladies and gentlemen, there is no secret to be said that the Dallas Cowboys could most likely select a cornerback in this draft, whether it be in the early rounds or later, because Anthony Brown's injury complicates things in the room, as well as Jordan Lewis could be on his way out as a cap casualty, and your young guys really haven't stepped up. I mean, you do have the possibility of moving Israel Mukuamu to the cornerback position to assist there, but I think you need a little bit more, especially with, Kelvin Joseph not working out for you, and Nahshon Wright has been a enigma of, is he going to be what you would want him to be? Now, with all that being said, Deron Bland has been an amazing addition to this team. There's no question about that, but I think the Cowboys need a little bit more in the cornerback room. So, for those that are wondering, hey, why is it that we're not taking someone like Emmanuel Forbes or taking someone like Cam Smith? Well, those guys were actually gone in this particular mock draft. A lot of cornerbacks went off the board, surprisingly. And I would keep an eye out on Emmanuel Forbes. The main reason for that is because the Cowboys didn't meet with him. And there's a possibility, you could go with him in the first round. And it's not necessarily that, okay, he's the best player overall. It could be that, hey, we need a cornerback, and we don't think he's going to be there at pick 58. We might take him here. And it's kind of one of the situations which happened in the 2020 draft where, sure, you were originally going to go with Trevon Diggs after K'Lavon Chaisson. You weren't like, I wasn't going to go with him, and then also CeeDee Lamb was there, but there was a rumor that Trevon Diggs would have gone in the first round for the Dallas Cowboys, and lo and behold, he was there at pick 58, so you could take the risk, especially if there's a flashing red light where you're like, you have to take this player. But let's just keep it a buck. I don't think that's going to be happening in this particular situation. I think you go with Deonte Banks and you move from there. So actually, let me talk about Deonte Banks because this is the first time we've taken him in one of our mock drafts. So the first thing is that what does he bring to the table that you would want in a cornerback? Well, he's really good at tracking the ball in, going downfield and, generally good ball skills, which is something that you would want in these cornerbacks. A couple other things that came up on my notes as well as taking a look at his tape from Maryland. He's really good with run support, which is something that I really want to have with these cornerbacks as well. Being able to button up anything that tries to happen on the outside is very important. He's done very well as a press corner as well. And also when dealing with tight ends, this is something especially to note, hasn't been overwhelmed when he's got to deal with that. Another thing is he attacks the ball. He is not someone that will be afraid to not go after the ball and take a chance, and I need that with my cornerbacks. And overall, I think that he has a good build for what Dan Quinn's looking for. 6'2", 205. He fits the mold of the cornerbacks they like in Dallas, and so I could see him going there. One of the things that, I'm not really a big fan of his game is, you look at what he can do. He can be a little bit slow to react in some instances when it comes to how the quarterback goes about his progressions. He can be susceptible to double moves from time to time, but I want to make it clear that it's one of those things where it's not happening so much to where you're going to have a problem getting it coached out of him. like we've seen with Kelvin Joseph, and those are the yips for your cornerbacks. If they start becoming more susceptible to double moves and they can't correct that, then yeah, that's yikes. Um, I do see here that sometimes he does struggle in zone coverage from time to time, but I think that that's something that, again, you can fix. A lot of the times the weaknesses are, hey, these are the things that he needs to work on at the professional level, and that's stuff that he can definitely work on. So with that being said, I think Deonte Banks is going to be a solid prospect for the Cowboys. You get him at 26, you get a position of need, and you just move on from there. So with that being said, let's move on to our second round pick at pick 58.
The Dallas Cowboys select
Steve Avila, guard, TCU. Oh my goodness, Space Cowboys, stop taking Steve Avila in the second round. Well, he's the best player on the board, and until the mock drafts change, I ain't changing this. In fact, the Dallas Cowboys are most likely going to need a guard of the future, most likely 110%. He's going to be that. And I'm not going to take super long and stretch out the video for this. If you have seen the previous two mock drafts, we've taken Steve Avila at guard. I think you get a guy who can plug in and be your starting left guard, or if you want to, go with a combination of Tyron Smith and Tyler Smith, and if Tyron goes down or when Tyron goes down, you can move Tyler to the left tackle and move from there. There hasn't been any movement on Tyron's contract and all that other stuff, so I'm assuming he's just going to be a starter moving forward. So with Steve Avila, you will get a guy that will be the starting left guard moving forward, and your left side will be set for the next couple of years. Again, don't need to do anything superficial there. I've already talked about what he's done well and what he hasn't done well, but if this is new for you, the long story short is that he's going to be a starting caliber guard in the league. There are things he can work on in his run blocking that I think will improve as time goes on, but he has the tools of being a starting guard. That's all that needs to be said here. And with that, we're going to move on to pick 90 in the round 3 of this draft, and then we're going to close this thing out.
the Dallas Cowboys select
Nathaniel Dell, wide receiver, Houston. Yes, I have the Cowboys taking a short wide receiver in this draft because that's what this draft is comprised of. And also, they actually met with Nathaniel Dell at the Combine, so let's not get it twisted there. So maybe I'm biased because I'm short and I want to see a shorter wide receiver on the Cowboys, but no, that's not the case. It's because of what he brings to the table. Speed is the name of his game. The first thing is his ability to quickly accelerate and being able to just bring a team some form of speed is going to be impressive. And the Cowboys need that 110%. Now, he worked primarily in the slot, which is good if that's what you're looking for. And I think that if you're going to bring back a Michael Gallup or go after an OBJ, someone of that caliber, you're going to need someone that can work the slot a lot more. Now, he can work on the outside too. Let's not just stray from that. But that's where he's primarily worked for most of college. But he's been productive. 2,700 yards and 29 touchdowns in 2 seasons in college football. Unbelievable. He's been really good at, run after the catch and getting chunks of yardage with his speed. A very natural playmaker at that, and very good lateral movement. He's going to be one of those security blankets for a quarterback that's looking for someone in the slot, which if people want to attribute something later or earlier, more specifically in Dak Prescott's career, he could be a Cole Beasley-like guy. Not as built as Cole Beasley, in the sense of sure, height and weight might be the same, but Nathaniel Dell is quicker. There's no question about it between the two. So if you're looking for a Randall Cobb slot guy, but that can also work a little bit on the outside, he can be your guy there. A couple things that might turn the Cowboys away is, of course, the size. He measured in at 5'8", 5'9", 163. So again, he's a small dude. And, if he can hold up against the bigger defensive backs and cornerbacks and safeties, he'll be fine. But that's something that will be tested. And I think that's what a lot of people look at is the size and frame he has. Another thing is that if you're going to work him on the outside, some of which I've seen on his college tape, is that some of the bigger cornerbacks can get to him if you're trying to play him on the outside. And, he has a small catch radius as well compared to his contemporaries that are bigger than him. But again, kind of like what I attributed as being a slot guy, like if you know what you're getting, you can make it work. And I don't think that this is something that the Cowboys should shy away from. And I think that, with the Cowboys running a West Coast offense at this point or some iteration of it, it will help him because he did not have the biggest route tree in college. He would run similar routes over and over again. So if you're drafting this guy, you're getting a stud at a, position of need. You're getting someone that can be a slot guy. And what's scary is that you kind of already have a 5'9" guy on your team in Cavante Turpin, but the Cowboys don't give him opportunities. However, I think, you look at what this guy can do. You're getting speed, which I need more speed guys. And if you're going to commit to the taller wide receivers, I don't care if you have two small guys on your roster. This is a talented dude that would instantly bring something that you don't have. That's how I look at it. So with that being said, guys, that is our mock draft for today. Our 3-round mock draft. The cornerback in the first round, the guard we've been taking in the second round, and Tank Dell, or Nathaniel Dell, however you refer to him as, in the third round. Please tell me what you guys think about this draft down below. And tell me what you guys would do differently, or do you like this draft? Is there anything you would tweak? That's all you got to do is tell me down below. So this is Space Cowboy Media signing out. Have a good rest of your day, guys. Goodbye.